There we go. You're set. Can they hear me now?
They can hear you.
Okay, so for anyone who's on Facebook, what I was saying to the live audience here was that what we're presenting tonight is a project for a grant application through the state in order to improve Rice Park. We want to add a few features to Rice Park that we currently don't have. We pre-recorded a video while it was still daytime in order to show the community what parts of the park we wanted to improve. And so I'm going to play the video, and if you have any questions about it as we go along, feel free to post your comments or your questions on Facebook or on Zoom or wherever you're watching us. Yeah. Let me go ahead and hit play. So in this area, we want to build. You want to rewind it a little bit? And the splash pad is going to be pretty big. It's going to be basically the area that's enclosed by these trees over here. Our plan is to leave the trees to provide some shade during the summer, but it will be a pretty big splash pad if we get the grant.
Yeah. Go ahead.
En esta área es donde vamos a construir o queremos construir el salpicadero, el área de juegos acuáticos para los niños. Va a ser básicamente toda esta área entre los árboles y queremos dejar los árboles para dar un poco de sombra para los niños durante el verano. So in this area, we want to build the restrooms that are going to support the splash pad. It'll also include an area for barbecuing, for picnics, and then we'll have some shaded areas here as well for parents who are watching their kids in the splash pad. We're also going to plant new trees, probably in this outer area to give more shade. And we're probably going to end up removing one or two of these older trees. But in general, this is going to be a self-contained area with the splash pad, the restrooms, and the picnic area. En esta área queremos construir los baños para los niños cuando acaben de jugar en los juegos acuáticos, para que puedan usar el baño o bañarse. Va a tener regadera también. Y también vamos a tener un área para los padres, para que si se quieren sentar a cuidar a sus hijos, o también para hacer un barbecue. Vamos a tener parrillas también para ese tipo de cosas. Y vamos a tener un caminito también que se conecta al otro lado del parque también. So part of the project is also going to include new swings here at this large playground, and we want to put in some swings that have shade, but also the type of swings where the parents can swing with their children at the same time as the kids. Those are called the expression swings, and we have put it in the grant proposal.
Okay, and I'm
trying to talk a little louder so in case the audio is bad. Parte del proyecto también va a incluir nuevos columpios. Vamos a quitar los columpios que están aquí y poner unos nuevos que tengan sombra, y también un tipo de columpio también que los padres puedan usar con los hijos, que se puedan sentar con los hijos mientras que los niños están columpiándose. poder circular todo el parque sin tener que caminar en el paso nada más. Pero sí, eso va a ser parte del proyecto. ¿Algo más?
También me una sugerencia,
Ajá.
que hubiera como banquetitas para los niños que anduvieran en las bicicletas.
Okay.
Eso también estaría bien, para que hagan ejercicio.
Podría caminar también todas las
Pero yo he
calles.
mirado en unos parques que tienen su banquetita así para que los niños anden en su bicicleta y andan ahí corriendo.
Ya que los parques tienen
Acerca del caminito para las bicicletas, si nos alcanza el dinero, lo queremos hacer suficientemente grande para poder también que se use para las bicicletas. Nada más, lo principal es para las personas caminando, los peatones, pero si podemos hacerlo ancha, también para las bicicletas y con las líneas. Ajá.
Digo que también ahí necesitan de modificar, porque fíjate, cuando yo paso por ahí, oye, este pedazo,
Aquí.
sé que a veces ya no sé si tengo lengua todavía, porque voy y se me hace muy, pues aquí
Sí.
está bien, pero ahí en ese pedazo
Ajá.
está muy, como muy, no sé quién lo hizo, pero lo hicieron muy disparejo.
Está muy disparejo. Y
Y
luego
luego-
es que es de hule, de rubber. Y entonces con el sol ya se hizo más
Eso
disparejo.
sabes que también pues ya que incluyeran eso para la gente que viene, que se bajan ahí con su wheelchair y quieren usar este lugar aquí, pues tienen eso porque a veces en tiempo de invierno se pone mucho lodo y ahí se ocupa para que esté pues bien para allá, que esté aquí y luego si está la otra para allá puede uno ganar para allá y no se siente limitado nomás de estar pues en una cierta área.
Ajá.
Porque así, te voy a decir yo, pues cuando vengo a veces quiero ir para allá, pero pues nomás mi mente se va para allá, pero mi pie no llega. Y a veces, una vez estaba unos amigos allá, dije me voy para allá y ya después pues, no veo banqueta, la misma cosa.
Sí. No, sí está difícil. También el problema con esta parte aquí es que cuando se instaló, los carros estaban manejando sobre este camino, y entonces eso lo dañó más y lo hizo más disparejo. Pero sí, eso es parte del plan también. Ojalá tengamos suficiente dinero para poner pavimento o cemento, lo que sea, para que ya no esté tan disparejo. ¿Algo más?
Hablen.
Sí, por favor.
¿Va a haber áreas para tomar agua?
La única que tenemos planeada es la que ya está en el baño, ahí a un lado del baño. No sé si sabían que el baño tiene para tomar agua a un lado allí, pero déjenme ver si habíamos... sí, en el otro baño va a estar, afuera del otro baño va a estar otro... ¿cómo se dice?
Bebedero.
Ajá, exactamente. Sí, buena pregunta, gracias. ¿Algo más?
Pues yo ya lo quisiera ver.
¿Verdad? Lo malo es que el Estado, sí, aparte de eso, se están tardando mucho en dar el dinero. O sea que no van a aceptar la aplicación hasta marzo del año que entra, y luego desde marzo se van a tardar otros 6, 9 meses para decirnos si nos van a dar dinero. Entonces, quizás no sabramos hasta 2022, si el año 2022 sí vamos a tener dinero. Entonces se tarda mucho, pero ojalá si nos lo dan se pueda hacer muy rápido. Bueno, déjenme fijarme en Facebook a ver si hay preguntas. Any questions? No?
Well, they're not able to hear.
Yeah. Is there people still on there? Okay.
Waiting on Facebook, or what?
Yeah, let me talk to Facebook because apparently they can't hear me.
Yeah, because the microphone is the computer right here. If you're standing over there, if you won't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is everybody on Facebook? Can you hear me? If you have any questions about the project, we had some technical audio issues, which we apologize for. But if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comment section. Gracias. Buenas noches. Bueno, esto ya concluye la presentación, ¿no? Parece que no. Oh, yeah. We're going to go ahead and play the video again from start to finish for those of you who weren't able to watch it with sound earlier. So if you have any questions after you watch the video, feel free to let us know. The project that we're proposing is going to include a sidewalk that goes from here from the restrooms all the way over to the other side of the park. That's going to be ADA accessible, and that you'll be able to walk along. It's going to be lit with solar lighting, and you'll be able to take this path to the new splash pad and the restrooms on the other side of the park. Parte del proyecto va a incluir una banqueta o un camino desde este lado del parque hasta el otro lado donde se va a encontrar la zona de salpicadero para los niños, pero también vamos a tener otro baño en ese lado del parque.
Okay. So, let's kind of show them where we're at as far as.
So the walking path is going to be paved along this route in between these trees, and like I mentioned before, we're going to have lighting here too, and we're also going to have Wi-Fi, so you'll be able to log on to Wi-Fi whenever you're in the park. El camino va a tener luces, va a estar alumbrado con luces solares y también va a tener la capacidad de Wi-Fi para que use el internet mientras que esté en el parque.
Okay. Okay.
Around this area, we're hoping to build a small gazebo where people can come and maybe sit or take pictures with the backdrop. And it's going to be along the walking path. And as part of a different project, we're hoping to get some funding to do an outdoor stage as well. But that won't be part of this project.
Okay.
Parte del proyecto también va a incluir como una casita o un mirador para que se puedan sentar aquí en el camino al otro lado del parque. Y el plan también, parte de otro proyecto que tenemos planeado, es para construir un área donde se puedan hacer conciertos o puedan hacer conciertos de música o otros entretenimiento aquí en el parque. So in this area, we're going to have the splash pad, and the splash pad is going to be pretty big. It's going to be basically the area that's enclosed by these trees over here. Our plan is to leave the trees to provide some shade during the summer, but it will be a pretty big splash pad if we get the grant.
Yeah. Go ahead.
En esta área es donde vamos a construir o queremos construir el salpicadero, el área de juegos acuáticos para los niños. Va a ser básicamente toda esta área entre los árboles y queremos dejar los árboles para dar un poco de sombra para los niños durante el verano. So in this area we want to build the restrooms that are going to support the splash pad. It'll also include an area for barbecuing, for picnics, and then we'll have some shaded areas here as well for parents who are watching their kids in the splash pad. We're also going to plant new trees, probably in this outer area to give more shade. And we're probably going to end up removing one or two of these older trees. But in general, this is going to be a self-contained area with the splash pad, the restrooms, and the picnic area. En esta área queremos construir los baños para los niños cuando acaben de jugar en los juegos acuáticos, para que puedan usar el baño o bañarse. Va a tener regadera también, y también vamos a tener un área para los padres, para que si se quieren sentar a cuidar a sus hijos, o también para hacer un barbecue. Vamos a tener parrillas también para ese tipo de cosas. Y vamos a tener un caminito también que se conecta al otro lado del parque también. So part of the project is also going to include new swings here at this large playground, and we want to put in some swings that have shade, but also the type of swings where the parents can swing with their children at the same time as the kids. Those are called the expression swings, and we have put it in the grant proposal.
Okay, and I'm gonna.
Trying to talk a little louder so in case the audio is bad. Parte del proyecto también va a incluir nuevos columpios. Vamos a quitar los columpios que están aquí y poner unos nuevos que tengan sombra, y también un tipo de columpio también que los padres puedan usar con los hijos, que se puedan sentar con los hijos mientras que los niños están columpiándose.
Now they can hear you.
Okay. So for those of you who are listening on Facebook, there's a question about ADA accessibility, and the goal is to make the park much more accessible for ADA purposes, Americans with disabilities. And one of the parts of the project that I hadn't mentioned in the video is that there's going to be a sidewalk on the east side of the park that's going to go from the splash pad to the sidewalk on Monterey Street. So it's going to over on the side of the school district next to the parking lot. There's currently a curb, but there's no sidewalk, which makes it very inaccessible for folks with disabilities. So we are going to build a sidewalk there as part of the project if we get funded, which will make the park a lot more accessible. And then the path from the restrooms to the splash pad will also be ADA accessible. So good question, thank you. So there is also a question about the construction timeline for the project, and really the honest answer is that we don't know, because we don't know if we'll be funded by the state as part of this grant process. But if we do get funded, usually it's a 3-year window, and we would want to finish it within 2 years of being awarded the funds. So So from whenever we get awarded the funds, we'll be trying to complete the project within a couple of years of getting the money. Hope that answers your question.
Yeah, that's just that one thing.
We'll be here for a few more minutes for those who still have questions about the project. Yeah, probably are. Did it tell you which one?
And Lou was asking how much will the city need to pay? Will we grant pay for most of it? Yes. Will the grant pay for most of it, and then if not, how much will the city need to pay?
Did that come through on Facebook?
That's no, that's the watch party.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, yeah.
You guys.
It's on Facebook though.
Okay. There was a question about the cost to the city for the project, and our goal is to fully pay for the project with grant funds, so there won't be any cost to the city if we're awarded the full amount of what we're asking for, which is usually the case. So hopefully that answers your question. We don't plan on spending any city funds on this project, only grant funds.
Share someone's life and start making their own watch parties of all your friends. And Amanda said, Stacy's gonna do the man. The man.
Thanks, Lou. My pleasure. Thanks for joining us and for watching.
I wanted to get some lights to the basketball court turned on, but I'm not even doing that.
Or not, ask Anthony if he's taking production.
It's all good.
I was like, Anthony, where's the lights? I can't see. It's so dark, buddy.
Yeah, hopefully, if we have some money left over from this project, we'll be able to put some new light poles around some solar power in. But if we do have that walking path, it'll be really long.
Vámonos.
Like, definitely out, especially when we have it there.
We're gonna close up the meeting.
Light towers, when there's no light. It's that parking lot is so dark out there. So
This whole area, like we can come down on Park,
yes.
on Monterey.
The whole town's dark.
Yeah, and no, it really is. Like over on Dome and like Yosemite, those areas.
Even like sliding there right here.
Yeah.
I'm kidding, I don't know what happened. Sunday. Hopefully Sunday. Let me ask for one more time. I emailed him and I told him también y no me ha contestado. Ese señor que he's really hard to get hold of.
Representing comparison unless I was right next to it.
What's up? Cost less.
Thought you was in Hanford, right? Yeah. God damn. I'm about to tell my girlfriend where to go.
For the Thanksgiving dinner, we're not in the boxes. We're doing trying to do actual dinner, like the dinner.
Oh, they're gonna get their food in a to-go container.
Yeah.
You know, actually said that probably thinking of handing out the boxes over there.
So not on that day because we already have hard enough time getting the people to. So he had told me they were going to. When did he say they were going to have during one of the events that we were doing here, and we didn't get them over here because I told him we could do like the haunted house or the trunk or treat. We could do that through the animal clinic because they're just sitting there and there's people that need food, so we definitely need to get them out. He needs to try to talk to people who are trying to doing it, you know, because it's a lot of work already. And then it's Jeannie and Donna, and then a small group from the Catholic Church.
Because I get people to take them out and get them out that day, you know, get them out of the way, and that will be easier.
Oh, you mean just to move it?
We could have like a station for the food and a station for the box. You know, kind of like get the box first and then get the food.
Yeah, that'll be up to Jeannie and Donna because they take care of that part, and that's going to be whatever they feel comfortable with. Because we do the cooking and then they do the distributing. So that'll be some. It wasn't anything that we had talked about or planned, but if they feel like they want to do that, by all means, that'll be their.
I call it work. We call it the
Yeah, exactly. Like whatever they feel comfortable with. But, and if you would be willing to do that part of it, then it's not going to hinder what they're doing. You know what I mean? So, as long as they know they have the backup. Like, hands, because the hands they have are going to be in the kitchen.
I mean, like, ever since I've been here, you know, I've been here. I can help you with that and with the.
I assume with who's gonna?
Yeah, there's going to be a drive-through. They're going to do a drive-through. Exactly how you guys.
Yeah, they're doing council right now.
Only it's going to be dinner.
They're going
Okay, everyone. Well, thank you for joining us tonight. It's been a pleasure taking your questions, and hopefully you're as excited about this project as we are. And hopefully next year sometime we'll have some good news with regard to the grant. And if we do get the award, fingers crossed, we'll get started as soon as possible to make this available to the public for the sake of our residents and our kids who don't currently have a splash pad to enjoy. So anyway, everyone have a good night and thank you for joining us.
So this whole project.
Where's
Stop streaming.
Stop streaming.